do what the business is.
It is another week in the books with the On Deck TV show. I am Spike Lou.
Man, holla at your boy Animal Brown, Animal_Brown, if you're looking for me on social media.
Absolutely. And I am Spike Lou on them same social sites. Holla at your boy. Finally got you out there on that golf course, AB. Give the people your thoughts.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back out there. That shit was fun as hell. I've done the driving range. We've been at the driving range before. This is my first time actually doing legitimate golf, hopping on the cart, driving from hole to hole, and this shit was fun as hell.
Had to rent your club. Some white boys told on us.
Man, they told I had to go get some clubs. I was going to use some other niggas' clubs, and they didn't want us to be great. I was just out there my first time, dude. Like, what the fuck?
What are you black kids doing out here? You know, there's not enough clubs.
Listen, I ain't had to write a tire on. I was just out there. I had fun, though.
But you did enjoy it. You'd go back.
Oh, absolutely. Hell yeah.
I like that, man. I'm glad you got to experience that, man. Golf is dope for you guys. I'm selling the shit out of it every week here, man. Y'all pick up some clubs. It ain't that hard. All right, man. This is the On Deck TV. Exactly. It's the On Deck TV show, man. Another week in review for us for the week of May. This week, man, Rolling Stone dropped the 100 best West Coast songs. We're going to talk about that. There's podcast beef out there in these streets. Cameron and Joe Budden with a little bit of Nori mixed in there, AB. Jack Harlow's new album dropped, and Pop Smoke's producer has some comments about his music. But first, there was a crazy claim out there, AB, after all these years and Doggy Style being, 40 years old damn near?
Mm-hmm.
Suge Knight felt like he would take the responsibility and come out and say, you know what? Dr. Dre did not produce Doggy Style. First time I've heard that one. He said that Daz did everything, but Dr. Dre wanted his name on it for the notoriety, but Daz would still get the check. Daz later came out and said that was bullshit. He don't know what type of cap stuff that Suge Knight was on. My question, though, to you, AB, would this have affected Dr. Dre's legacy for you?
Yeah, had he not done it, of course.
Yes.
If he had not done it, that would be huge, because that is one of the reasons we look at Dr. Dre the way we look at Dr. Dre. He's known as the man responsible for putting on Snoop. He's known as the man responsible for his own hits. He's the man responsible for Game, kind of, sort of. He's also responsible for 50, kind of, sort of, Eminem, Kendrick. So if you take, but Snoop is the one that started it all. So if you take that away, and it's obviously the claim to fame is that Doggy Style being produced entirely by him, it's considered a classic by everyone, not by many, by everyone. And so that would have been insane had he not done it. I know some people may be like Daz of course, from Dog Pound, but Daz was a producer too. He produced a lot on that All Eyes on Me. So Daz got them beats, and he know what he doing in the studio, and he may have been in the engineering or whatever the case may be, but Suge Knight, for some reason, hasn't had his name in the news lately, so he felt the need to just randomly say this. That's what it seems like, and that's what Daz said too. So, I believe Daz. I don't believe Suge Knight. Who do you believe?
Yeah, I gotta believe Daz, man. Where's Suge, in jail, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, niggas just selling stories now. Like, I can't believe some nigga went sit with him and actually put this out and got this off. We would have been known about this, man, if this were the case. Like, how information is out there and peddled in hip-hop, there would have been rumblings and stuff way before Suge Knight decided to sit in his jail cell and tell us about it. So, no, this is retarded from Suge Knight. I don't even know why he would come out and say it. And big shout out to Daz for coming out and be like, nah, he's sick, he crazy. And even if I did do it and we've made that deal, it's gone this long, I'm not going to say anything now. Like, I already made the money for it. So, this is one of those situations where you have someone like Dre who you never hear from, never talk. So Suge Knight, no, you can get this off. Like, who gonna say something? And it's just unfortunate. A lot of hip hop history, it seems like they're trying to rewrite it now and act like some other things happened. I saw Fat Joe had got some criticism about trying to add Latinos into the mix a little bit there, but it's just, unfortunately, we were there.
Yeah, and it's going to happen too. You're going to see a lot of people rewriting history. I'm not sure why, but people don't believe Suge anyway. They haven't believed him for years because it always feels like he's got some type of agenda whenever he's talking about something. There's always some type of ulterior motive, whether it's to get clicks or whether it's to get a check or whether it's to get attention.
Do you think
Right.
that's taking his value down? Like, would
Agreed.
that be a big interview? Like, would you still want to do a Suge Knight interview? Or would you know it was like he was trying to clickbait?
It would still be interesting because of the clickbait. And there'll be some truth mixed in. He's still Suge Knight. He still got the story. He still had a front row seat. Obviously, he was the dude who started Death Row and was there. He wouldn't keep it a stack though. You couldn't trust half of the stuff that he said. That's the only problem, and that's a shame. But I guess he ain't got nothing to lose. He locked up, dude. So I mean, I don't know what he gets out of telling the truth. What he gets out of, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, Dre did the whole thing. Like, what does he get out of that? He doesn't get anything. At least he getting clicks, and his name is still getting mentioned when he says shit like this. But I don't believe it for a second. But I'm gonna tell you the Suge Knight interview, and you're gonna hate this. That would actually be really good.
Oh my God, not on Vlad.
It's Vlad.
Oh my God.
He'd have the best one only because Vlad takes people from beginning to end. And I've never heard Suge Knight's story told from day one. Like, I watch documentaries and stuff, but to hear it from him, he would take it back to where you're from. What was your childhood like in the neighborhood where you grew up? And most interviewers don't do that. They just talk about what you got going on right now. And they may take it back a little bit, but nobody takes it from day one. Vlad is the only person that I'm aware of that takes it from day one, similar to Inside the Actor's Studio. And there's no hip hop version of that. So Vlad is the closest. That's why I say really, that would be good.
Really generous comparison there. Have you ever heard a full Suge Knight interview? Yeah, that's the shit. Actor Studio gives this shit.
Not really. I remember when he was on late night television and shit. When he made the Eazy-E comment about
I remember that. I remember that. Like Arsenio or something. I'm trying to think, have I heard him in a long format interview? Like when he was talking about the football shit. Like I've heard him talk about that somewhere. I just can't remember.
I mean, there's documentaries.
It was a documentary. Maybe it was a documentary. Yeah. Maybe it was a documentary to talk about the early shit and how he got into Death Row. But yeah, you're right. That would be a good interview. I don't know if I really necessarily need to see it with Vlad. I could take him sitting down with some other people. Maybe I wouldn't mind seeing him on Nori, actually. Get him to loosen up.
Oh, they might could go back. Yeah, they would go back.
Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, we do need. I could go for someone who's gonna hold him accountable. Like I feel like these interviews that he's getting now, that people probably paying him for them,
right?
Because he probably need the money, and they gonna give you the little 3,500 and whatever clickbait that they can get from it. They want to make their 3,500 back.
For sure.
So, yeah.
That's we've come to a sad place when it's when the CEO of Death Row got to do interviews for cheese
for $3,500, right?
Because that's about right.
That's crazy.
Next up, man, Rolling Stone is back with a new list. They've been in their list bag lately. Remember they had their top 50 rappers of all time not too long ago to celebrate 50 years of hip hop. This time, speaking of Suge Knight and the West Coast, they've got the 100 best West Coast songs of all time. My question to you, do you agree with the list, specifically the top 3 or 5? And 2, what was the first song you thought of when you thought best West Coast song? Because I know the first one I thought of.
When I saw this list and we were doing this rundown, the first question in my head as a Southern hip-hop connoisseur was, where is Today Is a Good Day gonna fall? And if it's not number 1, how did they get that wrong?
Throw the whole list away.
That was the extent of my thought. So I just went to number 1 immediately because I did 1 through 70. I don't probably have no none of that is. No. But with that being said, it's a travesty that Today Was a Good Day wasn't number 1. That's crazy to me. That's the first thing that I think of when I think of West Coast music. Maybe it shows my age. Maybe it shows my lack of knowledge for West Coast music. But as someone who grew up in the time period that I grew up in, from the South, when you're talking about West Coast and the number 1 song, there was a number 1 on the box and MTV, and that everybody knows the words to, and it's been in countless movies and video games. It's Ice Cube's Today Was a Good Day, Isley Brothers sample. That's it. That's the answer. That's number 1 Rolling Stone. We don't have to do anything else to make a salacious list. Just put that at number 1 and go from there. They failed. What do you say?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Today Was a Good Day came on those lists at number 7.
That's crazy.
And I don't care if this was top 100 rap songs ever, it's not as low as number 7. Like, I don't give a fuck if this is East Coast, West Coast, or whatever, nigga. Songs, period. That's a disgrace. The first song that I immediately thought of was like, okay, where is this at? Was Warren G. Regulators. I want to know where that was at.
Where do you think it is? Did you see it?
I found it already. It took me a minute, and that disgusted me. It's 24.
24 is nuts.
That's nasty.
24 is nuts.
Like, nigga, what? There's a Tyler the Creator song higher than that. Bro, what? With all due respect, man,
Yeah,
get the
that's
fuck,
crazy.
bro. There, I don't understand it. I don't get it. This there's it with man. Listen, and this is my guy.
Okay.
Nipsey Hussle. Last time that I checked, is higher than Warren G. Regulators, and Nipsey is my guy. That album is a classic. The whole nine, all of that. There's no way on God's green earth. Last time that I checked is number 11, and goddamn Warren G. Regulators number 24. It's impossible.
I really, really want the West Coast listeners to tap into this, man.
They will tell you that that's impossible.
That's crazy.
I don't get what's the top five. Let's get him the top five.
That Real Compton City G should be top 5 too.
That's
crazy. That Real Compton City G's not on the top 5. Number 5. Number 6 is Too Short Blow the Whistle, by the way.
That being over, it was a good day is an atrocity, dude.
Now here goes my lack of knowledge to the West Coast. Number 5 is Souls of Mischief, 93 to Infinity.
You just need to hear the song. You know exactly what the fuck that is.
Do I?
Yeah.
Okay. I've never heard it.
You know exactly what that is. You the first 2 seconds.
When I hear it, it's gonna be one of them. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got you. Number 4 is Hail Mary, which is crazy.
And I love Pac and that album.
There's a lot of Tupac songs that could have been right there before here. Like California Love, it's asking for you to put it in the top 5.
Facts.
To put Hail Mary right there is nuts. I wouldn't even consider that like a West Coast song. Number 3 is Kendrick Lamar featuring MC8, Mad City, MAAD, whatever.
That's crazy though. That should go hard.
I ain't mad at that. Yeah, I ain't mad at that. Like if you needed one from the new generation, I would say yeah. NWA, Straight Outta Compton is number 2.
I
would have probably went Fuck the Police or the other one, Dope with Easy.
Straight Outta Compton though, I don't know. That might be it. Bro.
Which one is the Certified Gangster? I think I would have went that. With
I know to my Boys in the Hood.
Yeah, Boys in the Hood.
Yeah,
I would have went that. So, and number 1, Dr. Dre featuring Snoop Dogg, Nothing But a G Thing.
I don't hate that.
That's top 3. Yeah,
that's up there.
Yeah, that's top 3. I ain't mad at that.
Snoop Dogg, Gin and Juice is number 8. Mac Dre, Feeling Myself is number 9, and Ice-T, 6 in the Morning is number 10.
I get the Mac Dre song because he's a legend out there, but
I don't know that song, but I'm not familiar with Mac Dre, so I don't know. That could be right there. That might be right. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I'm not going for it.
I get the Mac Dre joint.
Looney's, I got 5 on it. Is number 27.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I feel like you have to give somebody, please, West Coast listeners, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like if a song is of West Coast origin and it crossed over to the entire country,
it should be higher, right?
It should be higher, dude. I don't know the Mac Dre song, respectfully.
Okay, that was a West Coast thing, but I mean, it is a West Coast list, so I guess kind of both of them make sense. Like with the Captain Saberhold, I think that might have been one of the first E40 songs I heard.
For sure.
So I could see that being 18. That's decent. 2 blaring omissions for me, being from the South, and I'm thinking more about it now. I mentioned this when we were doing a little pre-show, is that Sally Sale is going down tonight.
That's bang.
And now that I'm thinking about it, it's probably because it got that Southern beat. That is 100% Southern beat. But yeah, so that's probably why it's not on here. But that's one of the West Coast songs for me. And Coolio, Gangsta's Paradise.
Yeah, like, Fantastic Voyage is on here, but not
Fantastic Voyage. But Gangsta's Paradise was like,
that's frying that.
That was Nigga, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing?
I will say they did put an entry in here that damn near saved the list. And this is a deep cut. Lil B, I'm God, number 37. The Lil B made the list. The list is fine with me. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not mad at the list no more. I was hot at it for a second. I see Lil B made the list. Shout out to the bass guy. The list is okay now. It's certified. Be real.
Hate it or love it, 36 is crazy.
Still DRE at 33. Well, let's be clear. It's hard not to put 6 Dre songs in the top 10, dude. Like, that's hard to do. Because you can do still DRE easy.
Still DRE definitely should be one of the top West Coast songs.
But that's...
And Rolling in My 6'4". Shit.
It's a lot, man.
Yeah, man, this is a tough list. So I wonder on these lists, are they trying to be commercial? Like the nationwide ones, are they really just trying to get it right? But it was interesting nonetheless. I'm not gonna go listen to any of these songs that
Yeah, I
I
ain't gonna lie.
don't know. I want to hear what the Souls and Mischief sound like. No,
48 to 100. I don't know what that shit is. I'm gonna be
yeah,
real.
I'm good. I'm good.
It's too many deep cuts for me. Nah, actually, nah. Far Side passed me, but I know what that is. There's a couple Snoop songs on here. Some Mix a Lot. My Posse's on Broadway. Nah, there's some shit on here.
On Broadway. Right.
Too Short, Freaky
Y'all
Tales,
check
number
that out,
45.
man.
It's not
One of my
bad.
first rap songs. Now getting it Too Short and that I'm a player definitely need to be on there.
Hey, what that song Drew Down had, man?
Drew Down in the house. Oh, okay, think of
Nah,
it.
he
You had
had
asked me out
Can
in
You
the
Feel Me? That's my shit.
Can you feel me? Yeah, that's the shit.
That was it.
100%. That was my nigga Drew Down too. Yo, boy on here, the nigga be talking the shit. The pimp nigga, you know what I'm talking about? You never
Sugar
seen the
Free?
pimp nigga? Sugar Free. Yeah, Sugar Free
Yeah,
got
he
a song
hard
on
though.
it. That's funny.
You gotta have Sugar Free on.
Got to put Sugar Free on the list, man. Y'all ain't on that Sugar Free. Check him out.
So,
all right, man. Moving on. Our man Ray Daniels, popular podcast about the music business. They get into a lot of different varying takes, and they were talking about Atlanta artists. Shocker. I think he's from down here. Mm-hmm. In the conversation, as he was joining someone else on their podcast, Ray Daniels said this. Listen to this, AB. Tell me what you think. He said that T.I. Clifford Harris is the most important artist that came from Atlanta, but Future is the best artist that came from Atlanta. What say you to that take?
This was accurate as hell. When asked why T.I. was the most important and not Outkast, he said that you don't know anyone that sounds like Outkast, but many of people came through after the fact doing their best T.I. impersonation. So that's where the important factor comes into play. In terms of subject matter and opening a genre of music, he's giving him the person who coined trap music and started that genre. That's why he is saying that. So whether you agree that T.I. started that or because he came up with the phrase, or whether you think somebody like maybe a Gucci or a Jeezy did it because they had the tone and the sound, that's debatable. But I can understand if you believe T.I. is the grandfather of trap music, then yeah, he's the most important artist that came from Atlanta. On the other side of Future being the best artist, meaning songwriting, like versatility, all of that shit.
Would you consider Future more successful than Outkast?
Outkast is one of the highest selling groups of all time. I can't say that. Because, but to be fair, they were around when niggas was buying CDs and shit, not streaming. So they have a diamond album. So no, I can't say that. But Future, in terms of being the best artist, when it comes to songwriting and all, and doing what he do and being versatile and sounding one way on one song and then another on another and then singing on another and jumping on here to do the hook, nigga. I woke up in a Bugatti, lacing that, and then jumping over here to. No, that's accurate. This is a very accurate statement. I don't think it's controversial. I actually think it's pretty spot on, and I like how he broke it down. So salute to Ray Daniels. I like it. I'm with him on this.
Yeah, I agree. You know, whenever I can go on here and give my guy props tip, then I'm here for it. Yes, this is a very accurate statement. I do agree with it because you get to breaking down. He brought up a good point there. When you talk about the clones that T.I. had, we talk about this with Jeezy a little bit before. Mm-hmm. I would consider Jeezy the grandfather of trap music. However, what I would say is before the image of T.I., all we knew Atlanta for was like
Goody Mob,
kind of different niggas. Yeah, like Goody Mob, Outkast. It wasn't what T.I. was. Like be very clear about that. These niggas was like the smart niggas. It was in the, like those type of niggas. Or it was like Florida booty, fast music. That's what Atlanta had too. But when T.I. came out, he made it cool to be like an Atlanta nigga. Like my slang, how I wear my hat, shit that I talk about. Yeah, nigga, I'm the king of the South. The king of the South come from Atlanta. All of that shit T.I. coined, put a phrase on, and he essentially, like Ray Daniels was saying, he gave Atlanta the swag that you see now today in Lil Baby or Gucci Man, or any nigga that would swear, oh, T.I. ain't got, T.I. did that. He did that first. He was the only nigga from here that was that when you see him. I remember that Beanie Man video. Like it was just different. You hadn't seen anybody from Atlanta that rapped or talked like that. It was still kind of fast, up tempo. Then when the album came out, you got to see the full depth of it when I'm serious. But yeah, this is a great great breakdown by Ray Daniels. I agree with it 100%. And then on a future standpoint of it, I would consider him the most successful other than Outkast. Yeah, because when we talking about sales, selling out like stadiums and show, ain't nobody that made it as big as Pluto has out of this city that ain't Outkast. Like he can legit say to anybody, like, nigga, you ain't got the receipts that I do. And that's T.I. included.
Yeah. I mean, but he didn't say most success. He just said best. He said best artist though, when it comes to making songs and shit.
That's crazy though. I wouldn't agree with that.
That's what he said about Future.
Yeah, I mean, I changed it a little bit. I would say most successful. I don't think that. Because when you talk about best, you got to add too much other shit in there. Like, he's had a successful career. I would give Future that. He's probably had the most successful career out of all Atlanta artists, how I say it. But when you're talking about best, like now I can be nitpicky and put Andre in there, album or not, because you're just talking about best and creativity and impact and things of that nature. So I wouldn't necessarily use that terminology of best with Future. I would say most successful. Solo artists especially.
You read my mind, because if Andre had the solo catalog of Future, then it would be him. But he doesn't have that. Question. So that's why I gotta give it to Future. But that was exactly what I was finna say. If it was Andre, if he had the catalog, then it would be him.
Yeah. Shout out to Pluto. That's a good point.
Absolutely, man. Next up, man, we got some possible podcast beef. I guess it ain't possible. It's going on. Cameron, his sports show has been taken off. And a clip of Nori and Joe Budden speaking about how other rappers' shows are falling off quickly. And he used the sports show as an example, used the cooking show as an example. Cameron took shots at that. He took offense to that.
He took offense to it.
And called out Joe Budden, called him Ho Budden, called him a crackhead. Joe Budden respond. My question simply, are you here for the podcast wars?
This is interesting that these guys from that generation, that beef was so prevalent in the music that it's bleeding over to here. This started with Cameron taking offense to, like you said, with Nori talking about the cooking and the sports show. And then Nori took offense because Cameron said something on social media. Oh, you got my number, Slime. You know me personally. You can call me. That's always a funny thing to say to a nigga that's responding online as well. Just like he has your number and said this. And yeah, you might want to keep that same energy and do it where he did it. But I don't really think the Cameron got a call from Nori. And it seemed like Cameron was joking too. Like, it didn't really seem like he was coming off serious towards Nori.
No,
he did seem like he wanted all the smoke with Joe Budden though.
Facts.
For some reason, those two go back, and then Joe kind of tried to big boy him because Joe is up right now. Apparently looking way up more than Cameron. Am I here for this? Yeah. This makes for good content when they guys drop. I don't think it'll move past anything else. There was rumors that those two fought over the weekend in New York somewhere that they met up and squatted up. But nah, my biggest thing wasn't from Nori was saying, well, you got my number, Slime, and you know you can hit me up, and he went to social media with it. That's always what I'm confused by with these beefs. You could have called him too. Hit him up like, hey, what you got going on, man? Like, I feel like if it's that genuine a relationship that you can call and squash it versus you responding on social media too. But am I here for it for the entertainment factor? Yes, these niggas is old. Ain't nothing finna come from this. The worst that we'll see is some fisticuffs. These niggas ain't banging no more. They realize how important they are in their positions. We're gonna get some funny jokes. Some niggas might get disrespected and called names. And like I said, at the very worst, a nigga get the shit smacked out of him, or there may be a fight. But yeah, this is entertaining for fans, man. I like it.
Yeah, apparently the clip, I don't think this clip is new, though. I think that show...
It's pretty old.
It
came out actually before Cameron shit caught steam, which is why I was interested that he took any offense to it.
Agreed.
Niggas be in their feelings, boy. Niggas be sensitive, man.
No, I think when he singled out, because what other hip hop person has a sports show? I don't know. So when you say that, it's kind of like, huh? And then he said cooking show, and the only nigga with a cooking show is Trick Daddy.
Okay.
So that's why it's like, damn, why am I catching a stray? And them niggas was he ha it up on the couch on Joe Budden couch.
No, they up though, and they up too. Them niggas is up in the podcast world, yeah. So they can laugh at niggas is like trying to figure out the foot. Because here's how I look at it: them niggas kiki kakan right there. They was never and somebody may challenge me on this with Nori, but I never considered them niggas like A-list artists. But now, in the space that they in, they A-list.
True.
And all the niggas that was like a Cameron was a bigger artist than both of them niggas.
Facts.
And now it's like, nigga, now look at you. You trying to come over here and do what we do because you heard I got the $20-30 million bag and I didn't see you redo it like before. You done did 3 sports shows. You got Mace on here now. So I get them laughing at that. It's petty. It is. But, I don't know.
If they would have left it at just rappers starting podcasts and then ending them, that could be one of 30 people.
That could have been one thing. Yeah.
When you add the specifics of the type of show, that's what blew it. But Cam was joking with Nori. He even said it in the caption. He said, "You my brother. We go way back, nigga. I ain't, bro. I'm fucking with you. But this nigga over here though,
Joe a crackhead.
Yeah, he went in on him. Am I here for this? No, of course. It's corny, bro. This shit corny as hell, dude. And I think I understand when people beef in hip hop, they like to use the whole like hip hop as a competitive sport excuse to let all of that shit fly, which is fine. Okay, whatever. I get that. It is a competitive sport. But when you transfer this same energy into other arenas of media that traditionally don't have beef, man, now you look corny. Like now it look like niggas don't know how to act. You look stupid. I'm gonna be like they look dumb, bro. And then
I don't know, bro. Like
where else? Where is their podcast beef? When has that term ever been used before these niggas got on here, bro? That shit don't, nigga. Joe Rogan ain't beefing with no motherfucking.
That's what I was about to say. I wouldn't necessarily say podcast beef, but in the media, you do get like the CNN versus Fox News. Like you have personalities that that they have a problem with other personalities. Mainly, it's because of their viewpoints. It's not usually because
it's not personal.
Haha. Yeah, it's like you be on here spitting that bullshit, my nigga, and I'm gonna hold you accountable for it. So yeah, you have a point in that when the sense of like what are y'all beefing for? But I think there's a little spot for it, man. There's a little space. I'm assuming that this is working for Joe because he's done it over the last couple of weeks. So the numbers got to be up. He keeps showing that number one spot. So he did it with his partners, and now he's doing it. Like I'm assuming that it works for him. They probably keep behind the scenes and having drinks and chilling.
It's definitely gonna cause attention. I thought it was lame when Hot 97 and Power 105 when Charlamagne and Funk Flex
and Flex was going in.
That's lame, bro. That's not shit. Ain't entertaining to me. These niggas look crazy. These niggas grown as hell. They all getting money. Y'all look silly. Like I don't know what
you don't take the competitive aspect into that either. Like niggas just wanting to be the best.
Yeah, no. What they're doing is unrelated.
But it's still like how they're looking at it is we're in the same field. I want to be number one. I want to be better than you. I want the numbers to say that. I want the stats to say that. I want to have a higher regard than you in this space. Because at the end of the day, we are competing. We competing.
No, they're not.
When I go in there and I sit in these offices, I can tell you, hey, I'm the number one podcast if I'm Joe Budden. If whatever that means to you, or him, or the people that he's in the business with or in the office with, I'm assuming that holds some weight, which is the reason they're doing this. I could look at it like you. I couldn't see them niggas sitting around stewing about it, no. Or even giving a fuck, like running into, like, nigga, we 40 years old, bro. Like, we done been through this a lot of times and seen niggas die from it. Like, no, I'm not here to beef with you or even have any fisticuffs or nothing. But I could understand niggas wanting to be like, nah, I'm better than you. I'm better than you in this. If you do sports, if you do whatever, because I think that Charlamagne, Joe, and Nori all have like a healthy competition. Now, I never like it take a nigga like Cameron to get in here and to make it beef. But I do think that those three exist in a world where like, hey, yeah, we all are competing to be the number one voice in hip hop, whether it be Breakfast Club, Drink Champs, or the JBP.
Yeah, no, that's cool when you grew up in like the culture and you in hip hop and you've been rapping since you were 6. And you do it for the art and all this shit. That's one thing. These niggas is doing this shit for the hustle, bro. They don't care about being number one. They care about the check. Cameron is doing this shit for a check. Joe Budden is doing this shit for the check. Them niggas was rapping because they loved it. Trust me. These niggas aren't media personalities because they loved media personality. No, bro. It's because it's a nice pivot. It's easy to do. I mean, well, relatively speaking, it's easy to do. It's easy to make that transition for them because they already have big personalities and platforms. Bro, these niggas didn't grow up want to be fucking Howard Stern, bro. It's a hustle. So no, I can't say the whole like,
You don't
oh, I
think
want to
the
be number
bug bites you
one.
once you get in it though? Like, didn't you start to appreciate this more once you started doing it? Like you
I already
before
had an
10
appreciation
years
for
ago.
it.
But 10 years ago, you don't have the same appreciation for you got now. Now, I'm sure you come into it each week. You like, I want to be on my shit though, right?
I grew up watching Siskel and Ebert, dude.
I ain't what I asked
I
you,
was
nigga.
12.
I'm
I
talking about
always
Animal
respected this
Brown's
shit, dude. I listen to Howard
personal, like
Stern.
you thrive. You want to be good at this shit though, right?
I mean, of course. Yeah, you want to be good at anything that you put your name on for sure.
That's all. They might be a little bit just I just feel I see.
I'm not beefing with another podcast, dude. I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that.
You couldn't pay me to do it.
I have a temper, but yeah, I ain't doing that. You don't want to go down that road, but yeah. All right, what we got next, man? Is that you or me?
It's me, man. Jack Harlow, your man's dropped the album out of the blue, Beyonce Drake style. It's called Jackman. Simple question: are you feeling it or no?
I wanted to hate so bad on this, but I couldn't. I can hate on the album cover. The album cover is nuts.
Facts.
It's like it's remind me of some old mixtape shit, like when we were coming up in our era, which I guess is what he was going for. I kind of get that with the feel and the sound of the album. One of the most interesting things to me about it, there's one song over 3 minutes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially from the era that we grew up in. On the reverse side of that, though, it's really to the point. It kind of proves like I can come out of the blue. I can give you an album that's under 30 minutes. You're going to be impressed that I can rap. The beats that I picked is going to be soulful and it's going to be insightful. I was really impressed by Jack Harlow on this album. When I was listening to it, it was like, okay, this helps me like him more because it gives me some of his perspectives on the things that I want to hear him have perspective on. Like the shit that he talked about on his album, okay, I want to hear Jack Harlow talk about it. The biggest thing for me when we're talking about relatability is the lazy take is what you would always have. It's still just the white dude though. And I hate to say it that way. He has a song addressing it, which is fire. Yep. Really love that song. But there's still the relatability factor to where you see it. Well, excuse me. I listen to it, I hear it, and I appreciate the perspective, but still there's not a relatability to it when I'm listening to someone closer to me, like a Jeezy or Nipsey or whatever it may be. But that don't take away my appreciation for it. I really like this album. This was pretty dope. It reminded me kind of Vince Staples last year.
Yeah, no, it actually is. It actually is really good. I'm not even gonna front. And I think he needs
so bad.
I think the quiet rollout helped him. The hype that was behind the last one with the big single. You got the big features on the track list. You got DJ Drama doing press runs. It's coming soon. You got Jack Harlow face everywhere. He had NBA All-Star Weekend. He just got announced that he doing White Man Can't Jump. Like it was just Jack Harlow overload. And I feel like the album didn't match that at all. Like it was way more commercial. I get it. They're trying to get them streams up. They're trying to recoup. I understand. This drop right here had no expectation, no glitz, no glamour, no features. It was all him. It was about the length of a Madden game, nigga, on 5-minute quarters, nigga. And like, but it was really good, bro. Like the production was straight, and he's improved lyrically. I will say Drake washing him on that last album has done some good because
no features, nigga.
He stepped
nobody's on this album.
Number one, he like I ain't calling no features for this shit. And two, I'm gonna step my pen game up, and I think he did. There's a couple of cringe-worthy bars here and there, but generally speaking, like he doing it, he actually like spitting on here and everything. So like it's a really strong project. Like I was surprised too. Like, but I like this quiet. I'm gonna let the quality of the music be the marketing for me type shit, rather than this big DJ Khaled style rollout. Like they can miss me with that.
Yeah, I think the quiet rollout definitely helped him, and you hit on a good point too. As I was listening to this, when I was thinking about the introspectiveness of it, it's like, yeah, I want to hear a rapper like Jack Harlow talk about the stuff that he's talking about. When he's talking about the blog kids and how music is digested in the suburb, like, yes, this is the lane that I want to hear. It's almost like Lil Dicky, but he doesn't do this as much. His is more like self-centered, like Dave stuff. This was like, okay, yeah, I'm a white dude. I can rap. I'm cold. I got a buzz behind me. I'm popular. Here's my perspective of what's going on, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah.
The Gang Gang song where he talk about like the
Gang Gang
homies
fire.
used to have, but like they done some wild shit.
That's some reminiscent of a stand for our generation.
Hey, that shit was hard though.
Not on no like stalker shit, but just like, damn, that's crazy.
He
the gang I liked.
I will. Ambitions is cold too.
I liked Ambitious. I like that. Is that I?
Yes, yeah.
That's a 3. That's a strong 3 run right there. I like Denver. I like Denver as well.
You really can let this ride though. Like it's like you said, it's fast.
And it ain't quick. Yeah. I mean, excuse me, it ain't too long. Yeah, you just put that mug in, boom, he get to it, what I'm trying to tell you, and I'm out of here.
Now, 2 things real quick before we move on. One, he is doing a version of Drake. It's not blatant, but there's like undertones of him wanting to be Drake. Like he's clearly a fan. 2, yes. Actually, I lied. 3 things. That's 1. 2, this is the type of project niggas want from Drake, though. Niggas want a 10-piece like this, though. With them beats and that subject matter.
Drake did this. Yeah. That would be his classic. That would be his world-renowned. Do you remember when he came out with the 10 songs? Yeah. I give you that.
3, you mentioned how short the album is. I was listening to All Eyes on Me over the weekend, ironically. Shout out to this West Coast list. Dude, it's 26 songs. Do you know 2 songs are under 4 minutes, bro?
Dang.
It's 2 hours and 20 minutes long, bro. That's the whole length of the album.
That's nuts. Crazy. It was throwback week. I listened to the Blueprint this weekend. Go ahead, my bad.
Did it hold up?
It did. Like you forget sometimes. Like, man, I forgot. Like I've gotten used to the old Hove now, the 444 Hove. Like when you go back, I ain't listened to Blueprint in a minute. I used to listen to it all the time. You go back and listen to that, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this when the nigga was spitting, like sounding like the young rapper sound today, but just for our generation. To this Jack Harlow, I think you did. To the last thing on it, he did a really good job of like getting to the point and getting out of there. I think the Drake influence and we forget because we kind of seen it happen. We didn't come up in that generation. It's gonna be more people that do this and sound like this. Jack Harlow just does it really well.
Yeah.
Most niggas that try to do this, we be like, that nigga trying to sound like Drake, and we dismiss it and they never get popular.
For sure.
Jack Harlow, to his credit, actually does it really well. And like you said, it does make you think, like, man, if Drake gave us one of these, like at the end of like July 4th weekend, yeah, I got this little 10-piece coming out. Like, oh my God, he'll break the internet, nigga. That'll complete it right there. That's the run. I'm out of here. Bow out, curtains down, it's over, nigga. I won. I'm the best ever, nigga. Off a 35-minute, me just spitting bars for whatever it may be. That would be his, like, out of here.
Facts. It's on you.
Facts. All right. Next, man, Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke said his producer came out recently and said there is no more music left in the vault. He also doubles down and says Pop Smoke wouldn't have wanted fans to hear 99% of the music put out after his death. My question to you is really simple here, AB. Should labels be permitted to release music after an artist's death?
Hey, this is tricky because on one hand, you have fans who want to hear what the artist had planned for us to hear. We just mentioned Pac. Pac died and dropped 3 double disc albums, nigga, in consecutive years. Nigga, like, damn, like what? How was?
Right.
But if you go back and listen to them, they were actually pretty solid. So I think I think it depends on the quality of what's left. Like, do niggas got half songs done and then you try to, because then when Pac started putting out 4th and 5th albums after he died, they started throwing him on songs with Lil Scrappy, and it was like, okay.
I remember the Machiavelli series. It was about 11 Machiavellis.
Yeah, the mixtapes. Yeah, it was hella Machiavelli because that's how many songs he had in the vault. But when you start throwing on niggas that he probably wouldn't have collabed with, it's kind of like, now it kind of comes off as a money grab. And it's disingenuous, and you're not doing it so fans can hear, their favorite artist that's no longer here. Now you're doing it to try to make some money off of him while he gone.
Right.
So that's where it gets tricky. I find it very interesting. He said 99% of the music that we heard, he wouldn't have wanted this shit out. And so that's a very interesting take. But the person who's over that, whoever owns the estate, the masters, the publishing, that's the person who makes the final decision. In Pac's case, it was his mom for most of it. I don't know who is over this with Pop Smoke stuff. So if his mom is over this and she said, "Yo, I want the green light to have it out," you got to respect that. With all due respect to Pop Smoke's producer, I wish I could remember his name, but it depends on who owned it, man. And I was a fan of Pop Smoke, so I wanted to hear what he had. But I ain't gonna lie, some of that shit was mid. I'm not gonna hold you. Some of the shit was clearly halfway done. Some of the shit was not meant to be heard. That part sucks, but I think the fans are smart enough to understand that piece of the posthumous albums. That comes with it, dude. Some of it's gonna be unmixed. Some of it's gonna be halfway done. I think the fans are smart enough to understand that. So he need to give fans some credit.
Yeah, you definitely got to give the fans the credit. And now, man, this not when we were growing up, bro. Like it's like a lot has changed as far as technology. Like this dude can't sit here and tell me under the right care that these songs can't be made to sound better. Now, when you're talking about style, like you said, if it's not people that he would have worked with, or if it's just too far away from what he was, and I get that. Yeah. But if we're talking about just unfinished, just some technical stuff, figure it out, nigga. This your job. Engineers, producer, y'all niggas figure it out, make it sound good, because I do feel like while they wouldn't want their legacy tarnished and just spread out, worked with everybody for money, they would want that art to get out there and to be heard, especially by people that fuck with them. Like, like you saying, unmixed, unmastered, whatever, not finished. It's still for those people that are fans of you, like they fuck with that. Like, I remember listening or being excited, like you said, because we were such big fans of Pac when the posthumous stuff would come out. It was a big deal. Until niggas start jackballing it and putting it with anything, and then you had Tupac and Eminem on the songs. Like, some of them was all right though, but you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. With Pop Smoke, I'm not sure if he was that advanced in his craft for this guy to be telling the truth, saying 99%. Maybe he's talking about some of the artists or people that he worked with or something of that nature. But I do feel like in this day and time, with the technology that we have from the different labels and AI and all of this shit, it can actually probably be some high shit that's made from the stuff they got in the vault.
Yeah, like, I
done heard enough fake Drake songs and AI Rihanna songs to know, like, let them work with it and put some money on it. They probably can make some banging shit with what Pop Smoke got.
Yeah, they gotta he gotta relax. Now, did you see Tyler the Creator? He got a clause in his contract that says if he passes, the label can't put out anything out any of his music.
That's interesting.
That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder, would they honor that if he was a different type of rapper?
What do you mean?
If he wasn't, I really don't got to worry about nothing happening to Tyler Creator if I'm being 100.
I see what you mean.
Rapper, yeah, but if that was Nipsey or YG,
like a gangster rapper,
or Kodak Black, if that was Kodak Black, would they let him put that in his contract?
That's
or would they be like, hell no, nigga?
Yeah.
So that's an interesting conversation right there.
It is, man. Before we get to these wins and losses, your man Boosie was on Vlad. He's on Vlad again. He got a permanent seat on there. Yeah, they got
ownership in Vlad's show, don't he? He sold him a percentage, didn't he?
He walked back his comments about T.I., said that they actually spoke on the phone, squashed it, mentioned how close their kids were, and that, it was just kind of silly. Of course, that stemmed from the T.I. had paperwork and he snitched on his dead cousin to get out of a bid or whatever the fuck it was. My question: are you surprised that this isn't getting as big of a pub as it was when he made the initial comments about them beefing?
I'm not surprised at all, because that's part of my problem with Vlad, and this ain't really his fault. Because, like, he did bring him on there, let him finish up and talk about it, but it's just the positive stuff is never going to catch on like the negative stuff. It's never going to be like, oh, Boosie and T.I. made up versus Boosie and T.I. beefing. People going to click on that. Thanks. Niggas don't even know why they was beefing as far as the made up part of it. But, I mean, I respect it. I respect Boosie coming on there, admitting his wrong, saying that, hey, I apologize, because he could have just left it at that. Now, I don't want to talk about it anymore. We've seen rappers and people do that. I appreciate them being able to squash it based off their sons or whatever it was for. Thank God it saved us from that Boosie T.I. album, though. We don't have
That's
to
a
deal
win.
with that. So that was a blessing in disguise from this whole generation. But I am glad that they cool. I'm glad that they were able to keep, whatever coolness they had up. I saw Jadakiss and Freeway over the weekend on Instagram talking about they squashed they beef that they had from back in the day with G Unit and with D Block and
Rockefeller
property.
Yeah.
So I mean it's good that older black men are able to talk, sit down and be like, man, we tripping, or either if I wasn't tripping, I feel this way, you feel this way. All right, cool. Let's come to a conclusion. Let's end this and we can walk out of here with both our heads up high. I appreciate this.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's a good look. I wish it did get more pub, but that's what you have shows like our shit for. We highlight shit like this so you can balance out the bullshit, because we also talked about the beef part. So if you're going to talk about one, you need to talk about the other. We've been doing that for day one for that reason, for anybody wondering why we're talking about it now, because you have to balance it out. You can't be all hype on the salacious shit. That's the chatty patty shit, and not mention when they squash it. And I'm glad they did, though. And Boosie was on there respectful. Like, he wasn't on there like super animated and all that shit. He was like, nah, he kept with the stack, man. I'm glad they did that. He like, our kids are cool, bro. Like, what the fuck? How we look, bro? Like,
our daddies are beefing. Like, what? Nigga, y'all serious?
You niggas just want to play the game, dude. Like, y'all nigga can't play the game. No, I can't play 2K over the nigga house no more.
House now. No, nigga, I don't fuck with his daddy.
That's just
shut up. Get your old ass down. Nigga's 40. That's hilarious. All right, man. Wins and losses. AB, you know how we do this. Give it a W or a L for the different topics that we got throughout the week. First one. We talked about this Rick Ross car show, man, and it would only be a matter of time before there was some backlash, because this is at his actual house. His house is in a neighborhood, and the traffic is atrocious. You went out there last year. No. AB, the neighbors have started a petition, and they want this shit shut down. Is this a win or a loss for Rick Ross?
Man, this is an L for the neighbors. I'm gonna tell you why.
It's a big L.
Although I respect my quiet neighborhood, trust me, so I understand. This nigga attracted more than 6,000 people last year to the car show. I'm with you. I don't want any parts of that shit. I don't like when one motherfucker's playing music anywhere in my vicinity. Like, what the fuck are you doing? However, they are missing a golden opportunity to charge for parking. Because goddamn it, if I'm in the neighborhood, nigga, you can have this lawn spot right here for a yard, and I'm standing in that bitch all day long, 100 a pop, nigga. I'm leaving out here with racks, nigga. Ross is charging niggas $25,000 for that had a car in his yard. I'm charging niggas a hundo, but I'm gonna walk away with 25 bands. So that's an L. Y'all looking at this the wrong way.
This is an L. At my big age, I'm paying mortgage in a neighborhood like Rick Ross's neighborhood. I'm not sitting in traffic for 3 hours to get out, to go to Publix. Nope, not going to do it. Not going to be able to do it. However, you brought up a good point, though. One of the things that his neighbors probably don't know is how dumb niggas is. You said $100, nigga. I'm charging $500 to park, bro. VIP $1,000. And I'm going to give you a little juice and everything. Like, nigga, I be raping niggas out there, bro. And I hired a nigga to do it. I went on vacation. The parking is paying for the vacation. Like, what are we talking? I'm not going to City Hall and signing petitions. We finna make this shit work. I done went over there to Hollywood Ross and told them, look, man, you direct them over here. I'm charging niggas $500 to park. Nigga, they get a little pass, all that shit, nigga. Get out of here. Yeah, so.
Give a little bottle of water and everything.
You little bottle of water, go a little snack bag and everything. Bring a little gift bag. For that little $500. Yeah, you come back tomorrow, it's going to be $500 again. It ain't no weekend thing. So all 3 days, $1,500 a whop. Yeah, like we eating. Like, that's a business opportunity for the neighbors. But again, man, I get it. Them probably old rich white folks, man. They ain't trying to do all of that shit. Or black people. It's black people out there too. So I don't want to be like, but they ain't tapped into that crowd. They don't know how, and again, they don't know how dumb. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying, like,
they're gullible, bro. Niggas will pay
money.
This shit.
Yes. How much money the niggas is gonna be willing to spend at that event? That's all that's what that is for. So if a nigga be like $300-$400 for parking, like, that was in the budget. Here you go.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So that it's big L. All right, next, what we have on the win or loss list, your man Nick Cannon said, this has been a popular show for T.I. He said he turned down that role in ATL for a bigger bag. AB, was that a win or a loss?
Man, can you picture Nick Cannon?
What kind of hating shit is this?
In T.I.'s role? And Nick Cannon's from San Diego, dude.
I could picture this movie being garbage with Nick Cannon in it. Going from a classic, like the scale of classic to garbage that would have went to with Nick Cannon, and that is amazing. I would have never told nobody this if I was Nick Cannon.
With one switch of a role, nigga, this shit went from nigga a hood classic to Soul Plane, dude. That quick
to a BET Plus movie,
bruh. You know what's funny though? You know, when we talked about this before, T.I. was up for the role in Drumline, Nick Cannon's role in Drumline, but T.I. didn't want to learn the drums. So I can see that. These niggas keep alternating roles, and they both landed right where they needed to be, dude.
Maybe this is a little movie beef. You got podcast beef, a little movie beef. Like, nigga, I suppose it been you, and like, nigga, shut up. Both of y'all niggas was cool. The role y'all got was good. We good as a society with what y'all chose. All right, last thing, man. The biggest what we did not need in this culture for a win or a loss. Your man Drake and Diddy are set to executive produce for Khadijah. That is wait for it, drum roll please, the French Montana life story. Is this a win or a loss?
Yo, dude. As funny as this
French
is,
Montana.
That's insane. Look at the cover of the post. The cover of the post is insane. It chronicles the unlikely rise of Moroccan-born multi-platinum recording artist French Montana as his single mother sacrifices everything to raise her 3 young sons in the Bronx after being abandoned by their father and left destitute. The For Khadijah, I'm assuming, is his mom. That's saving it, because if that's part of the story, then I can respect it. I'm not mad at that. It looks like they came from very humble beginnings, and we think shit is difficult here. Yeah. Nigga, when you over in fucking war-torn, nigga, missiles hitting your backyard and shit is different. So I'm not going to downplay that part. Am I interested in this? Absolutely not. Again, the poster for this is insane. I am going to pass, but I respect it. I'm going to give it a respectable W because it is about Mom Dukes and her having to push through and make sure that this nigga is you know what I'm saying, is who he is. So it's a rags to riches story, and I can't be mad at it.
I am going to get these jokes off first. I do respect it, but I'm getting these jokes off. This nigga think his mama Donda, dude. Like, come on, bro. I didn't even know that French Montana had that big of a life. I didn't know that niggas would be tapped in. I realized the Coke Boys DVDs used to do their thing, but I never knew that niggas was like, man, I wonder how French Montana got to where he at. Like, bro, not once has that crossed my mind at all.
Yes, it had. You gotta think about it. Yes, it had. Cause niggas gotta wonder, like, where did this nigga come from and how is he on like he on though?
Bro, I just thought he was a nigga from the Bronx. Like, however, like, I know it's a variety of cultures and whatever it may be. So I just thought, like, nigga, if Fat Joe from there, if Big Pun was there, that he one of them or whatever the fuck that they is, and it's a mix of them. But yeah. I ain't mad at it. I'm being funny more so than anything. I know French Montana. I respect his hustle. I respect what he has done in the music biz. So I again, the single mother thing I can definitely relate to. So I'm only being funny. I'd love to see it, but it's definitely an L. I'm never gonna watch this.
Yeah, I respect it.
I will never hit play on this.
Somebody got to tell me it's that shit though. They gotta be like,
nigga gotta be like, nigga gotta tell me this is crack. Literally, like, nigga, you got to see this, nigga. It's one like, nigga got to tell me that. Man. What you got to put us on? Oh no, on deck of the week.
On deck of the week, man. We're going to YouTube. Shout out to homie Hog Lord, man. Been rocking with us for a stretch. Yeah. Commented, said, "AB, you had me dying when you said designer was in his Pee Wee Herman bag." That's how you know we old. You old like us, bro. Because we know who Pee Wee Herman is and what,
and we know what he did. We know what he did. Summer, nigga. Yeah, that's funny as hell. Shout out to Hog Lord, man. That's my guy.
You washed up like us, big dog, but we appreciate the comment, man, for sure. Now, what you got to put me on, man?
I found a new show, man. Succession is cooking right now. Just want to put that out there. But your man from Lost, the black dude, I was telling you a little bit about this weekend. There's a show on Prime, Amazon Prime called From.
Yep.
It reminds me a little bit of Lost. It got the sci-fi shit to it. I knocked out the first season over the last week. It's 3 episodes into the next season 2. It's solid. It's a solid watch. Good that it's binge worthy because it's one of those keep you guessing and you don't really get the answers, so you don't want to go week to week with it. But yeah, it's solid. Solid 13 episodes out there if you're looking for something on TV to watch. It's From on Amazon Prime.
I can respect that. Been hearing good things about that for sure. I'm gonna go the TV route too. Showtime, the brand new season of Couples Therapy came on. Hey man, listen.
I seen a clip from that.
Listen, this is not for the faint. If your relationship is not, I do not recommend this show. If your relationship is not where it needs to be, this is not for the faint. This is high level. This is critical thinking TV, but it is very interesting.
You watch it with your wife, right?
Yes, for sure. Because it sparks really good conversation, bro. Like
I seen a nigga on for the clip. Did you see this nigga on the clip? He said,
I already know what you're talking about.
Gold. That nigga said he was gas. The chick was saying he was gaslighting because she kept asking him, was he cheating and shit? And he was like, no, I ain't never cheated in the country.
Yeah, tough. You're right there. Savage.
Man.
Dude.
He thought he was getting off, too. He's like, every time I cheated, I was in another state. And man, nigga, like I didn't lie. Man, that shit was crazy.
I have an affair? The fuck?
Man,
nah, dude, right there,
damn,
he different though. It's interesting, bro. If you're interested in people,
watch it just to see what he gotta say.
If you're interested in how people think and act the way they act, like I'm into some psychology shit. So like if you're into that, if you're not into that, then don't. It ain't a comedy. Like it's funny shit, but it's not a comedy. Like it's a real reality show. It's real couples doing their couples therapy shit, whatever the case may be. But the therapist has a therapist too. So she confides in her OG therapist when she doesn't know what to do. And that added a new layer to it for me. That's because I always wonder, who do therapists talk to when they don't know what to do? And so that's another layer. So it's to me, it's very interesting, but it's not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. And I would watch it dolo first before you watch it with your gal. Like it's
trying to avoid any rain crash.
Man, listen, test the water out first. It's grown man shit, dude.
I already know what you mean. But this has been another episode of the On Deck TV show, man. It's May. Today is May. Well, May has started by the time you're listening to this. And man, that means 10 years for us, AB. 10 years in the game strong. We appreciate you guys that have been rocking with us from day one. Those who caught on late, those who just now catching on, we appreciate you all.
Absolutely, man. Hey, we'll tap in next week. We'll see y'all then.
Chill.